always want more. That's why there's padlocks on the front door. That's why the window blinds don't ever shine lighting. The bad side of life seems so inviting. So I'm unsure if I'm unsure. I'm just a big shot who's coming up short. I'm just a little boy trapped in a grown man's body. Only time I ever want is when I know I ain't got it. So give me that piece. 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 You know it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Need a little something more. 5, 6, 7, 8. All that other shit can wait. 9, 10, 11, 12. Why'd I do this to myself? I need some beats right now. I'm talking 1, 2, 3, 4. Need a little something more. 5, 6, 7, 8. All that other shit can wait. 9, 10, 11, 12. Why'd I do this to myself? I need some beats right now. I'm trying to make mine. The time is on my side and that's a great sign. Going with the flow, I never swam a straight line. My ocean at the moment's only feeling waist high. So maybe I can stay afloat and take a stage dive in the deep part of it. I don't have to say why, I don't even bother me. Hit you with the face palm. If you keep hollering, I'll pop you, then it's over. Make you Leviosa on some Harry Potter shit. Yeah, I will not admit, yeah, I'm dishonest with, yeah, my own consciousness. I kinda miss the obvious, yeah, plus I got a bitch, yeah, but I know life's a bitch. I guess that makes me polyamorous. That's probably cause I have nots, always want more. That's why there's padlocks on the front door. That's why the window blinds don't ever shine lighting. The bad side of life seems so inviting. So I'm unsure if I'm unsure. I'm just a big shot who's coming up short. I'm just a little boy trapped in a grown man's body. Only time I ever want is when I know I ain't got it. So give me that piece. 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 You know it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Need a little something more. 5, 6, 7, 8. All that other shit can wait. 9, 10, 11, 12. Why'd I do this to myself? I need some beats right now. I'm talking 1, 2, 3, 4. Need a little something more. 5, 6, 7, 8. All that other shit can wait. 9, 10, 11, 12. Why'd I do this to myself? I need some beats right now. Give me that. I need some peace right now, yeah. Give me that. I need some peace right now.
What is going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream here. Today is, make sure this is set, Tuesday, September 10th. If you're new here, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. We will be getting some live trading in here on TopstepX, looking at ES, actually MES, on the 1-minute chart. I've got a 50K combine loaded up, showing you guys my favorite order flow tool here that will be hiding on the side. Book map. Interesting day. Kind of choppy session. No trades for me. Again, not really common for me to have back-to-back no trade morning sessions, but nothing set up. No setups. Posted on IGX that working on my C game. If you guys have read The Mental Game of Trading, you'll know about that inchworm technique that is spoken about from Jared Tendler, where we've got our A game, B game, and C game. Part of my C game, and I think most guys' C game, is to identify when you don't have a setup, when you don't have conditions setting up for you. Market structure, price action, whatever tools you're using, whatever it is just not giving you a valid trade. Limit those unnecessary losses. Preserve capital and have it ready to utilize on a day when you do have valid setups and you're ready to jump in. So was having some lunch after breaking with my guys from this morning. This was the alert I had set on TradingView. Let me know when we broke this initial balance low, and the stat continues to play out. After we break one side, either the high or the low of the initial balance low, price likes to extend past that. Initial balance is the first hour of trading, 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So let's take a look at this. If I zoom out, kind of talk about just higher time frame analysis. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to hop in the free Discord. I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. This isn't a suggestion or recommendation or tell you to do something. You're responsible for your own trading. And it's risky and you'll probably lose money. And I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just a random guy on YouTube here. So I was looking at this as pretty choppy consolidation movement, right? So overall, Failed to get up to all-time highs after this area of consolidation, this choppiness here. Opened up in September, breaking down to these lows. A little bit of chop. Continuation to the downside. This is looking pretty bearish right here, at least for the time frame that we're looking at. I don't know if this is considered high time frame, low time frame. I don't really care to say one way or the other, but higher time frame than the 1 minute, lower time frame than the daily or monthly. We pushed up after putting this low in, and as you could see yesterday, we had this big rangy back and forth, choppy kind of day. Not so much choppy back and forth, individual candles on the low time frames, but this slow drifting to the upside and then no follow through, downside, no follow through, continuation back up, no follow through. Overnight session, no big huge move, right? Drifted down from when we opened up. Put this low in here around 5 o'clock. Yeah, 5:15 a.m. Eastern. Bullish towards the open. Let me scroll out and get my 1 minute chart set back up. Bullish towards the open. A little bit of a pop up, breaking above the opening overnight high. We're already above prior day high down here. Choppy range to set this 15-minute opening range. I did not take a buy down here back towards the top, which I do like to do. Kept myself out of that one. VWAP down below. Prior day session VWAP down below. Didn't feel like we were going to hit this. We didn't. And we broke to the downside. This was looking like we were going to set up for something bearish. Again, I'm not taking a sell out of this area right here. That's not the setup for me. Just get rid of this. Cool. Book that back up. Yeah, I'm not taking a sell right off the bat. I'm waiting at this point now for initial balance. Saw this big selling pressure come in. What happened? We found support down here. Maybe this is a level you had marked on your chart. Obviously right in the middle of this range or low in this range, kind of area of high volume near these lows over here, stuff that's been tested a few times. We've got a push back up and more chop. I think NQ looked even worse than this. ES looked even weaker. But a bunch of chop, man. Here's the pullback and continuation. I'm ready to get short. Maybe as we're breaking this down to the downside, stop loss right above here. We don't get that. Sellers fail to take it lower. Pull back up to VWAP. Rejection. Not coming lower on that one. Chop around. We look like we're headed down to break it this time. What do we get? Long wicks to the downside on the 5 minute, the 1 minute, and a push all the way back up. So just back and forth price action, right? Staying within this, choppy area that we've had from yesterday, right? That's kind of what I'm looking at here. No news Tuesday. We got CPI, PPI, unemployment coming out over the next 2 days. We got red folder news events, big data releases coming out. Maybe that's contributing to a choppy market. I had again, TradingView alert set to let me know when we were breaking this initial balance low. Break to the downside. This is an interesting one to watch, guys. I'd encourage you to go on ES and take a look at the 1 hour opening range, the area that price trades the high and the low from 9:30 a.m. Eastern to 10:30 a.m. Eastern. That is the initial balance. Look at it on ES, and when it breaks one side of the initial balance, look at how often it extends to the upside or downside when it breaks, and how little amount of time it comes back to break the other side, as in if it breaks the low, it's not likely to come back up and break the high. Started to talk about Edgeful a bit, a software that generates statistics on the financial markets. Pretty cool statistic behind the initial balance breakout. Talked about that a few times. It's not likely, much less often, does ES break one side of the initial balance and come all the way back up and break the other side. Happened yesterday, but it's an interesting stat to pay attention to. So far, we've broken to the downside. I just threw this zone on my chart over here. Broke into the downside, broke below overnight low, and we've kind of found some support here, and we've started to drift back up. Trading to the downside now looks like my play, although it doesn't look super duper appetizing. I'm ending up with no trade days here, guys, and for good reason. Anything that I would have been taking, looking at these moves play out in hindsight, break even or stop out. No big move for me to capture, nothing really playing out early on where I like to trade in between levels. Just nothing here for me. So I'm going to show you guys that I do what I can to stay out of the market when I identify that. Maybe this is great for you. Maybe you are running up your P&L on days like this. That's fantastic. And maybe on a day where I'm doing the same, you're identifying some pretty weak trading conditions for yourself. So if I zoom out even further, we'll head out to the 15-minute. Let's go to the 30-minute. You know, I'm trying to find a higher time frame zone to be paying attention to. You know, above this low, this is kind of what I'm looking at right here. Tested a few times as support. Maybe we see something there. Outside of that, we got room to run to the downside. We are down below this low here. We cracked down below this low here. We do have this low. I could throw a zone off that just to be aware of it. Yeah, I like, if anything, a trade to the downside right now, but I don't have it in me just yet. We'll see if we come up and retest initial balance low, maybe just overnight low, kind of this area of consolidation right here, or the obvious 1 hour opening range, which is watched quite a bit. I do like this overnight low level. I was looking at this before, you know, tested a handful of times as of recent, you know, during NYSE session over here, overnight session. We'll see. We shall see. But it's been slow week. Not completely uncommon. Larger move last week. No news Monday. No news Tuesday. Larger news that that I believe the market can be watching. Let's look at NQ for your boys that like to trade NQ. Similar, right? Not as weak. Zoom out and get this VWAP line back in action. Not as weak off of this initial move down, and then a push all the way back up where ES really didn't pull this far back up. But a breakout below, initial balance low was actually broken right here, but it did not hold. Breakout below initial balance low on this one, and kind of the same structure that we got pulling back up right now. So, sorry for being so twitchy with the chart. TopstepX has a kind of a weird buggy feature on TradingView where the VWAP lines do not line back up if you don't zoom back out to where they start. Yeah, so I'd like to see if we come back up here, test this zone, kind of come into this imbalance maybe that guys are watching as well. Now that we're all the way up here, you could look at this as the break and retest right now. You know, push through this area, retest into this little area of consolidation, retesting these lows. Again, looking left. This has been tested a few times. You could look for a short right here, right now. Not in the cards for me yet. Not with this type of slow drift back up. If we had pushed down right here really aggressively, had I been trading, pulled back up and then started to reject, yeah, I'm looking for a short, you know, right then and there. But maybe we drift lower, we get some structure to the downside. We say, hey, you know what? I think we are likely to continue this move lower. Now we're breaking some lows. We're pulling back up. Maybe we pull one of these moves, and then we start to continue. You know, we could look for a short from down around this level. If not, if we continue this move to the upside like we're doing right now, break and retest a little small price action, I'm going to look for that over here. Look to get short. Entry somewhere over here. We could look for something like that. That would be pretty sweet. Again, we don't get that over here. Maybe we get it down here. Look for something along these lines. That would still be cool. We shall see, boys and girls. Looking at Bookmap, we've got liquidity way above at the big round number, 5,500. Actually, just above 5,500. That would be way up here. Really right at the highs. Right above the highs, rather, 5,502. Yeah, right above that obvious high. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Down below price, unless we go really, really far down, like I was zooming out when I was showing you guys that before. We don't have too much. Nothing crazy sitting up here that I'd be worrying about. Really nothing below price that would want to be dragging it lower, so that's not helping us. Just really not doing much for me. Something to watch on the side can help read volume as well for me, but nothing crazy right now that's sticking out on order flow that I want to be utilizing in this first trade. So we'll see. Waiting for this level to be tested up here or just to turn down at any point from this area. We're following downtrend structure after this BS choppy back and forth movement. Maybe we're going to pull one of these where we come down, just like we came down over here. We're going to trend all the way back up, clear above highs, and then continue. Just have to wait and see. So that's what I'll be doing, waiting and seeing. If you guys got questions, feel free, ask away in the chat. Trading questions are welcome. What's up? Is there a secret behind trading lunchtime PM session? No, not really, man. I trade the morning session, 9:30 a.m. That is my secret. I like to trade the morning session, and it's not a secret because I tell you about my trades that I take. I post everything in Discord to give you my charts, my trades, how I'm trading. 9:30 open is my favorite time, as it is with most guys. A lot of volatility, a lot of nice setups. I trade that either solo or with my one-on-one clients only through Zoom, where we're talking face-to-face. Then I hop on here on YouTube for free sometime in the afternoon. I haven't been liking Power Hour, just price action and market structure wise over the last couple months. Kind of a high pressure time to get the trades in really quickly. So hopping on here earlier, maybe catching some extension, some move that seems to occur throughout the New York lunchtime into the early afternoon session. I find that provides just a little bit more flexibility to work with. What's up, Juan? What's up, Don? 15-minute opening range breakout has been working really well. Very nice, man. Very nice. Yeah, man. Again, you can make the 15-minute range the opening range breakout work really well for you. I trade it counter. I trade the opposite. I like to trade the stat that more often than not, and you don't see it playing off, today's one of the not days, that the 15-minute opening range is broken to both sides. So, we can trade it two different ways, almost complete opposite ways, and both make money. Rejection coming in right at this overnight low. So I just jumped over to Bookmap, wanted to see this, see if sellers were going to try to take this thing lower. I see some orders below. This could start to fuel the move down from here. Again, break and retest, it's okay. I just don't love this structure, right? On another day, overnight low is not here. It's up here, or it's, in a different spot with initial balance low being right here. Again, this is just what I need for my entry. I think this area can be tested. I think it's very likely that we come back up here and tap into all this. We crack above these highs. So this is an okay trade, especially if we did start to continue this and trade to the downside. But I don't want to have a stop loss over here where I'm actually looking for an entry. So if we, just roll over right here and push to the downside, that's okay. Not a missed trade for me. Market, moved without me, and that's fine. Up here, and then a continuation down. That's what I would be looking for a short here. But again, even this, I'm not super confident in it, man. It is choppy. It's this choppy kind of garbage structure for me personally. Again, maybe you love this structure that is not really providing follow through, once we do start to get these moves and trends develop. So we'll see. But right now, that's what I'm looking for. Something like this. That's what I'd like to see. Managed to finish the day in profit after the big drawdown. Very nice, man. Very nice. Glad you finished in profit. More importantly, I hope you followed your rules, your trading plan, your approach. That's what I hope. Justin, what's up, man? I'm thinking you're the same Justin from Discord that is sharing these awesome charts, breaking out your trades, asking for input, and doing a really good job of sharing that trading journal. So that's cool, man. Do you find PM session to be harder than the AM session? Not harder, just different, right? I'm looking for different setups here throughout the day, right? During the open, the first 15 minutes, after the first 15 minutes, and maybe before the initial balance, I'm looking for some pretty aggressive trades utilizing market structure and trend, which I always am, 15-minute opening range levels. I like to trade to and from these levels pretty aggressively, more shorter time frame, scout style trades where I'm not really going to be scaling out and holding for a huge runner in general. Again, I don't put myself into a box. I pull different moves on different days. But if I had to apply some consistency to what I'm doing and when in the morning, I've got some setups that work pretty quickly. After that, as we move in towards this initial balance, after the first hour, I'm looking for more of trend to develop or not develop and to say, hey, it's a choppy day like today, so I'm not taking any trades. Or we start to sell off and continue to the downside. Maybe I am looking for those just regular break and retest, trading with the trend, market structure, utilizing volume, utilizing some volume tools to trade in that direction for something that's going to develop pretty quickly throughout the day. Once we get into the afternoon, it's similar to that after initial balance type trade, market structure, price action, utilizing levels, but going for like a continuation, kind of an extension of whatever that trend is that's developing. So it's not harder, it's the same, just different, a little bit different. Traditionally slower. Is it any, less or more predictable? No, I don't think so. But you become aware of certain things. Like, for example, if I'm trading power hour, you have a limited amount of time. You have certain certain data that comes out, MOC orders, and, things that can increase volatility around certain times. So, just different things you have to watch out for. In the middle of the day to afternoon, in general, if I'm overgeneralizing, you often see a continuation of whatever was going on in the morning session, whether it's a trend, whether it's chop, breaking to the upside, breaking to the downside, or a pretty significant rotation back down into the range, kind of a turning point developing. And it can provide for some nice opportunities to trade towards the end of the day. So not better or worse or harder or different. If I had to pick one, I'm picking the morning session because there's more volatility, there's more setups, there's more chances for trades. So that's kind of how I would describe that, man. So, but not harder. Power hour, I think, can be tough in general. The last hour of the session, there's volatility there, there's opportunity, but it can be somewhat difficult. Again, because you have kind of like a news event that occurs a couple times during power hour every single day with these consistent, this consistent data that comes out. So that can be difficult to work around or to try to utilize to your advantage. But, again, some guys might love pre-market. You might love the open. You might love the last hour of the day, Asian session, London session. All about finding what works for you. No, there's no best, only the best for you personally. That's what I'm continually shown, and that belief just gets reinforced more and more as I watch different guys do really, really well doing completely different things. So again, seeing if we come up to retest this initial balance low area, maybe close to session VWAP, prior day New York session VWAP. If I threw a NYSE anchored VWAP, which I have on here oftentimes, lining up with that session VWAP, so we don't need that many lines on our chart. It's a little bit messy. But good question, man. If you guys are hanging out on here, feel free, ask away. Go right ahead with the trading questions. And if you're not in the free Discord, hop in the free Discord, man. Not a VIP feeder program. Analysis charts. You could ask me questions. Community of over 1,000 active traders sharing stuff like Justin. And news every morning talking about what we have. Tomorrow I'll be telling you, again, if you're not aware, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, we have news. How am I seeing market sentiment today? in general, choppy. I'm not seeing buyers or sellers take control of anything. I'm seeing this as another somewhat indecisive day. As one side takes control and volume comes in, it seems to fail. Looking at this structure, I would say bearish overall. Do I really believe that sellers are going to hang on and run this thing into the ground for the afternoon? I'm not so sure. The more we creep to the upside, the less likely that thesis is. But I can see a reaction over here somewhere and a pullback down at the very least, even if I'm wrong, giving me a way to structure trade and risk. But I think we have, I'll show you guys the site that I use, some indecision ahead of this is forexfactory.com. I'm sure there's one for futures. I hear guys use, my FX book, Financial Juice. This is a financial news calendar, economic calendar. Gives you data releases. Red folder is high impact. Yellow folder is low impact. Orange folder is medium. If you could see, we had nothing yesterday. Really nothing today as far as USD goes. We had some FOMC members speaking. Tomorrow, CPI. High impact news event. We have crude oil inventories. That's another one to look at. 10-year bond auction. It's another one to be aware of. But a lot of times ahead of these news events, again, not all the time, but a lot of time, we get anticipation. Choppiness, kind of just not any kind of big movement, lower volume. Thursday, unemployment claims, PPI, more bond auction, and then really not too much on Friday. Consumer sentiment, these are something to be aware of. Increase in volatility is on the board for that. But, again, I think that's what we could be looking at here. So not really necessary to, go into the why behind what's going on, at least for me, between every candle and every movement in the market, but important to be aware of what's coming up and, how the market is moving. But in general, that's what I'm seeing. Here we go. Pull all the way back up to this level. Let's see. So again, this is what I'm looking for a short. This is a hell of a pullback. If you were really aggressive, you could go ahead and just enter right here. It's not really the way that you will see me trade, especially for a continuation. You could go for something like that and look for a really badass entry. Maybe you just like to run a fixed 10-point stop loss in ES, and that's going to be cool for you. But I would like to see something along the lines of whatever it's going to do. It can do this and then continue. It can do this and then continue. And I want to be entering as we're moving lower. Stop loss may be above whatever level of structure that forms. If that happens, don't know. That's a hell of a push up into this area. Yeah, we got some buyers behind this, guys. This is choppy, man. I don't know about this. I'm going to have to wait and see. I'll probably be late to any move that I do decide to trade because I want a lot of confirmation. This is just so back and forth. If you're looking to trade counter to what's going on, I think you would have done pretty well today. But, I don't know if this bearish structure is going to hold or if we're just going to pull a move like yesterday where, we do one of these. We pull all the way down, and then we drift all the way back up, and then we drift all the way back down. We could see that. Just kind of this rangy, slow, rangy, trendy movements that by the time you're getting ready to hop in and you have the confirmation, you're on the wrong side of the market. So, again, I could see this for an aggressive sell. If you're looking for this to continue, you're a trend line guy, and you say, this looks good to me. We're staying below all this. We're below VWAPs. We're rejecting. My stop loss is going to go somewhere up here, maybe way above this high. I think that would be kind of extreme. But not me yet. I'd be fine just not taking a trade, watching the market play. But we shall see. Again, break and retest, waited on this, wouldn't have played out so well, would have been stopped out on anything that I would have got short on down here. Don't want to be in the same situation now that we are up here. We get some continuation to the downside. We get some sellers come in. What would be really nice is kind of one of these moves where we start to pull back down, maybe come back up, wick everybody out that's getting short, and then continue lower. I think a move to the downside right there would be pretty sweet. You get a really clear invalidation point that forms. I don't want to take the first rejection off of this level, although I can see it happening right now. Sellers have obviously halted these buyers that have stepped in, and we got some volume behind this bad boy. But let's see what we get from here. We shall see. Risk off, yeah. Yep, looking at the chat. Kevin H, 3-year note at 1 p.m. Yep. You ever tried Aiden session? I've been testing 15-minute orb on the Nikkei around 8 p.m. No, not really, man. Traded London for quite a while, my Forex days, and that just doesn't make for good sleep schedules. But I'm able to trade, full time here. So I like the morning session for NYSE. I get the hot session. Entering shorts off a break and retest of VWAPs might be a good idea. Yeah, I could see that as well, man. You've got your session VWAP, session VWAP right here, which is lining up for NYSE session VWAP. You've got your prior day anchored VWAP right here. I could definitely see, shorts around this area. Again, if we're going to continue this structure to the downside, that's the thesis. Sellers have taken this thing lower. We're not as likely to come back up and break all the way above this high. Our stats show us that. That's just objective statistics. But again, what happens on days like yesterday and even today, by the time I get the confirmation that the move is going to occur, I'm too late. I'm already late to the party. And unless you're jumping in super aggressively at specific levels, which are very hard to define and that I don't find provide a good edge in the market to pull moves like that in the long run, because not every day is like today or yesterday, you just struggle to capture this move. So it's tough. Again, different styles, right? Like other guys, you might see them cleaning up. I don't really see it. I cruise social media. I watch what other guys are doing. I listen to, the chatter on days like Friday when we get big sell-offs or larger movements. Social media seems pretty loud, right? Everybody's talking about their big days, these massive prop firm run-ups, big green days. A day like yesterday, everybody's quiet. Everybody's real quiet. Nobody says anything. And I think that's because they take losses. They're ending red. Maybe you get guys like me that say, I got no trades for the week so far. But it's interesting to see that type of investment space sentiment. Yeah, we got rejection here, right? Sellers are trying to take this thing lower. Ooh, you are right, my man. We do have something dropping right now. Who said that? Kevin. 3-year note at 1 p.m. Is that on my forexfactory.com? Because I could see... wow, that's not even on forexfactory.com. Good call, brother. 3-year note. And the only reason I knew that as I was saying it, I'll show you guys bookmap. Right before data releases, all of this algorithmic liquidity comes off the book. So you can see this stuff that tracks price above and below. This is displaying, liquidity on the book. It's displaying areas of high volume of orders. That gets shut off right before, like the minutes before a news event, a data release. And I'm looking at bookmap over on the side, so I see that a minute ago, And it's an immediate indication that, hey, we got something coming out. We got something that these guys, whoever's running this stuff, are anticipating. Maybe price going to move quickly. We don't actually want to be filled on this for whatever reason they are doing this. And it like shuts off. And then you see it within the next couple of minutes. Someone flips the switch and they come back on. So I'll leave this up here. We'll see if they do come back on and when. But you were right at 1 p.m. Not a whole lot of volatility. Yeah, not a lot happened there at all. But whoever's running the algos anticipated it. Let's see. Pull back up. There you go. Back on. You see this crap? Haven't been able to get a clear answer as to what exactly that is from anybody. But it's interesting. Interesting to watch it come off the book right around high impact events. I think that's telling of what it actually is. So anyway, not a whole lot of response out of that. But out of that 1 p.m. Event. But let's see. Reaction there, right? Kind of a larger reaction than anything we've seen in this little trend outside of this right here. Not enough to take it lower. Do we fail here? Do we retest? Do we crack this high and then continue lower? I'm looking short. Again, something like this would be pretty appetizing. Come up here. Test this VWAP, maybe crack above it real quick, maybe just crack above this high, and then turn lower. I would like that for a short, maybe something along those lines. I don't know if we want that structure to be like that. That would really be perfect. If I'm cherry picking something, entry on selling pressure coming back down, breaking a low, breaking structure to the downside here on the 1 minute chart. We'll see what we get. Right now, this looks like, just continuation, rotation back into the range. Case can be made that ES has just been, U.S. indices are being a pain in the ass. We get a drifting move like yesterday, and we just come back up. I'm not going short right now at all until we see some serious movement back down. This is not great price action. Structure, really. Not great structure. That's what I'll say. Again, for me, maybe this is great for you. This is exactly what you like. For me, and I would generalize most guys, not great. If you're trading breakouts, it might work pretty well. I think you're getting that quick continuation. But after that, the follow-through is kind of tough. Selling the lower high. Do your thing, man. Do your thing. This bad boy right here. Or are you on NQ? Because don't know that we really have a lower high just yet. Lower high would really only be confirmed, just like from a kind of splitting hairs if we started to come back down and then broke a low. What's up? After months on demo, I started trading with $100 last week with small size. Now it's at 172. That's great. I'm excited to trade on a Top Step funded account in October when I'm 18. Don't say that, man. I'm going to pretend that you're 18 because make sure that you're not in my group and you're not watching any of this stuff if you're not of legal age to be doing anything. Not that this is financial advice or recommendation or suggestion to do anything, because I'm not a financial advisor. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money, and you're supposed to be It's supposed to be 18 to do most stuff, at least in the US. So, yeah. But yeah, man, $172 is a massive gain on a bunch of big cop car emojis. That's funny. $72 on $100. That's a huge run up on a $100 account. It's massive, man. So, yeah, here's your retest time for shorts. Yeah, man, I see it. Again, I see the retest up here. My short entry would be on continuation to the downside. A much worse entry where if I'm wrong, I'm going to be wrong quickly with no follow through. You could certainly take it up here. This is fine. You know, you could go for something like this. You could go for something like this. You know, trading down this way. I don't really have a lot of confirmation. So far, we just have this trend to the upside that's really holding suit. If we reject here and break the low, it would be really aggressive, I think, to hop right in on the first just quick break of structure to the downside. You know, but I would like this to fail. If we do have this nice reaction here, pull back up, try to continue higher, sellers are going to take it back lower. I like that for a trade with a stop loss above this level of structure rather than a short right here while buyers are still taking it higher, at least for right now. And again, if I miss the trade because we just blast to the downside right from here, you know, so be it. But that's more of my style of entry. Waiting for a break and retest, you know, this type of a break and retest, and then some kind of confirmation from structure at the zone. This maybe is enough confirmation, right? A reaction right here, you're getting short right here. Maybe this is enough confirmation. Maybe hesitation is enough confirmation. You know, it's all subjective. For me, like a somewhat of a structural shift without being so specific on what exactly that is. In a case like today, I think is more in store for me. On another day, maybe I'm entering right at the zone. Maybe on another day, I'm entering with an engulfing candle. Again, that's discretion. That's going to be the intuition and discretion. For me, today, watching this, again, kind of like yesterday, I'd rather just sit on my hands. And the big risk is that I miss an opportunity, which is not really a missed opportunity if I don't have a trade set up. But, you know, I miss the move and not put risk onto the market rather than put risk onto the market and risk the loss. So we'll see. Do we get like a double top here? Do we crack higher and then continue lower? Do we fail right here and just, you know, start to push lower? Don't know. What do you think about? Just kidding. That's funny. What do you think about meme coin? I don't know what that is, but like meme coins in general, like Dogecoin or random crypto stuff. I don't really have any opinion. I don't think it really relates to trading at all. You know, if you're looking for a financial instrument to trade, pick one that suits you and go ahead and trade it. If we're just looking at, you know, random meme coins or we're going to talk about like investment opportunities, it's really just completely different than what we're doing here. So, no comment. Continuing the push up, shorts from this area, I wouldn't be feeling too good if I was in them. I'm glad that I'm not. On another day, maybe we do push lower, but you're watching it play out. So far, the way that I'm anticipating, just not having the conviction and the price action and the structure to get short on this. So we're not short. Going to watch to see what happens right here at VWAP. Really important line in the sand for a lot of traders, especially on the US indices, but on many instruments. And maybe we reject harshly here. Like I said, maybe we crack up after pulling a move like this. And we start really pushing to the downside with some force. Maybe I'm looking to get short on the way back down here. But right now, that doesn't look like it's happening at all. Looks like we're getting the BS drift all the way back to the upside in ES. So, longs are the play down here for some odd reason, because we're bearish all day, and then you're going to call a bottom down here somehow, some way. You see a double top and all of the other the double bottom and all of the other double bottoms before you traded and lost on, and this is the one that you make money on. I'm being sarcastic there. But yeah, I'd like to see what happens up here. But now this is not really a continuation, right? This is different. If we move the chart back like this and we pull up here, that looks like a nice, just healthy break, retest of this area, a lot of resistance found, and we're going to continue lower. Now buyers are just really ripping higher on this thing. We got volume behind the moves to the upside. Do we find resistance here and start to harshly reject? That's kind of what I'd be waiting on. But just tough structure. Again, not really following through with the overall structure to the downside for each day. You could say, hey, Zach, that trend line that you had before, not a trend line guy, but this can just help demonstrate, structure of the day. Is about to be tested. Maybe you say that's what you're looking at. And until we start to break and hold above all that, that would be another line in the sand. Maybe you're saying until we break and hold above this high, that's a line in the sand. For me, this, nice clean downtrend structure right here is not getting held up. The break and retest is down here. Yes, this is another line in the sand to the upside, but big drifty back and forth movements. So not great. The long sigh is just for watching the chart all day and not getting a trade, but that's part of it, man. And again, I think the hard thing to recognize as traders, talk about this stuff a lot, obviously, is what's going on today and yesterday for me. Not taking losing trades P&L wise is just as important than taking a winning trade. If you're a 1-to-1 risk to reward trader or something close to it, every losing trade that you can eliminate and not take is close to being just as value as every winning trade that you're going to add. So do what you can to identify not having a setup in the market, conditions that are really not setting up for you and your approach, which again might be completely different. This might be just what you need to trade, but for me it's not. And not take those unnecessary losses. Don't take the short down here on the break and retest and get stopped out again. Wait for the time where it says, the market's saying, hey, based on your strategy, your approach, your risk management, it's time to get in, time to put risk on in the market. Take that trade. Then when you take the L, you say, hey, great job, man. I did what I was supposed to do. Good loss, cost of doing business, no problem. But that's the message that I could try to deliver to you guys today. Choppy, man. Choppy back and forth movements. This stuff is tough. Yeah, the only thing I could see today, really, for me, is we break this initial balance low, and you're jumping in really aggressively somewhere here just to catch a continuation of this move. All of this stuff was way too choppy. I'm not getting short on something like this, watching this type of move in pre-market and being above VWAP line here. I'm not going to get short right down into VWAP or at VWAP as we're rejecting. Maybe you say, hey, that sliced through again to break these lows. I'm jumping in, and you capture a quick 1-to-1, but that wouldn't have even played so nicely, right? I'd probably be stopped at break even. I would be running a stop loss way up here at the very, very least, if not above the highs. And that really doesn't even give you a 1-to-1. Probably getting stopped on this pullback right up here. So nothing crazy today. Nothing too great to trade off of. But we're going to hang out, watch the market. If you guys got questions, feel free. Continue to ask. Trading questions, we'll make this valuable that way. If you guys are not in the free Discord, hop in the free Discord. If you're here and you are a minor, please leave. I'm not providing any financial information, but my content is not specifically made for children. So While I do a good job of moderating, there's no graphic images, nothing illegal, nothing not safe for work. I try to keep it pretty safe for everybody. Create a nice safe space. No, I'm just kidding. I got to add a rule in there that says if you're 18, if you're not 18, you shouldn't be looking at charts. But let's look at questions, man. Yeah, Bookmap improves trading. Yes. We got a couple questions on here. I'm new to this world. How can I learn and be good at this? First off, if you're brand new here, welcome to the show. If you are thinking about getting into trading, specifically what we're doing here, what I'm doing here, number one, it's a long road. It's not something you're going to be good at and make money, in my humble opinion, in the next 3 to 6 months. Usually it takes a number of years. So that's the thought process right there, right? And I don't gain anything or lose anything from telling you that. It's just my humble opinion. So if you're looking for something that you're not, really passionate about or interested in to make a quick buck, this is not going to be it for you. If you are interested, I would start with some of the basic stuff that you can find on other YouTube channels. You could certainly stay here in the live and watch what I do and ask simple questions. If you're asking extremely basic questions, I'll probably direct you elsewhere. I think a really good starting point, if you're interested in getting into trading, although it's Forex focused, is the trading channel on YouTube. Like millions of followers, great complete beginner stuff, introductions to technical analysis, to trading, to risk management, all the basics. That would be a good starting point. Maybe, you want to start with baby pips. Again, really, really beginner focused site, learn the absolute basics, and then hop in the free Discord, watch some of my videos, check some of that stuff out. But that's probably where I would start. How do you usually manage combines? Do you risk a lot to pass fast or take it slow? I risk a lot to pass fast. That's where I would be in that category. I talk about this a lot because it's a question. Most guys that I find in the futures trading space right now, the retail futures trading space, are looking to get funded and work with prop firms. I don't think there's any wrong way to go about it. The only wrong way I would say is if you have no quantifiable data at all that says that you can potentially make some money in the markets and you're trading with live capital or with prop firms. If you're at that level, you should probably just be on demo until you have some evidence to say, I want to put this money on the line and, give it a good shot. Past that, there's a couple different schools of thought, right? If it's a spectrum, the most conservative would be I'm going to buy one combine. I know I have a month to pass it. I'm going to try to pass it within a month. If it takes me, longer than a month, maybe I let the thing reset. But my goal is to not blow that one combine. And I'm going to structure my risk in a way that really, considering worst case scenarios, makes it so I shouldn't blow that one combine. And I'm just going to trade that. Much more aggressive would be I understand my risk management, or my win rate, my risk to reward. I'm going to trade multiple combines. Maybe I'm going to copy trade multiple combines, and I will likely fail more on the way to passing one much faster. Again, if you're going to work with prop firms, you can look at combines as an investment. You can utilize them as a tool to get to the funded account, and you can trade much more aggressively, risking blowing combines on the way to passing one and getting to an XFA. I think guys take it to an extreme, and that can be questionable, but it's a much more aggressive way to go about it. It's definitely not the beginner way to go about it. And but again, if you have money to invest, you understand that time is money, and you have reason to do so, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with, aggressively trading combines, getting to the XFA, and maybe trading more conservatively. Some guys get to the XFA and trade those very aggressively. I don't think you should be really treating a funded account like a way to try to game the system and just, YOLO the thing. There's consistency rules that prevent you from doing that. You really will be, investing a lot of money, trading super duper aggressively in the XFAs that way. I think most guys will have at best some dynamic risk management that allows them to scale up pretty quickly in XFAs. But on the way to XFAs, if your thought process is to get to them quickly and you have reason to believe that you can pass. Maybe you have some evidence where you passed 1 or 2 conservatively, and then you start to get more aggressive. Go right ahead. Just recognize the investment that you're going to make on the way there. Have an understanding of what it means based on your win rate and risk to reward. And you can anticipate, hey, maybe I'm going to blow, 3 or 4 on the way to passing 1. Maybe I'm going to look at blowing 2. Maybe I'm going to look at blowing 6 in a couple day period, but I'm going to pass 1 within a week. And I'm cool with that because I trade a large, live account, and getting 1 50K XFA over the course of a month is really not a good use of my time. Again, comes down to the individual and your own financial situation. I think the way that you should look at trading with prop firms is a business. You're going to have a cost of doing business, an initial investment in combines and XFA activation fees, maybe resets, maybe blown XFAs. This is, your risk capital. How much are you willing to risk? How much do you have to risk? How much are you willing to risk based on your own risk tolerance? And then work with that. As you see best and worst case scenarios play out, maybe you adjust. Maybe you get more aggressive. Maybe you get more conservative. There's a lot of different schools of thought there, but I think it should be relative to your experience level and your financial situation. If you're just don't have much money, you have a couple $100 in the bank, and you are YOLOing combines aggressively on the way to trying to get to an XFA, that's not the way to go about it. If you have some experience trading, like myself, maybe you're coming from a larger size live account and you're risking a considerable amount per trade in a live account, and a combine is $20 when I was buying a lot of the 50K combines, or $50, and you're comfortable buying a half a dozen or a dozen and copy trading some of those together, or just aggressively trading them individually on the way to getting to an XFA because you're comfortable, losing some of those, you're comfortable with that investment, and you're going to trade in the XFAs. You want 5, 50K combines into XFAs, and you want to have additional on backup like I have. You want to be able to trade those, fairly aggressively, even in the XFA stage. Go right ahead. There's no wrong way to do it. Again, you should have reason to do what you're doing. You should have some quantifiable evidence, some edge in the market to display that you should be doing this. If you're just blowing combine after combine and then XFA after XFA, it's probably not the right path for you. So that's the deal. No consistency rule on the XFA. What are you talking about, Zach? XFAs are literally meant to full port. There is a consistency to qualify for a payout. You need 5 $200 trading days, 5 green $200 trading days. So while you can trade them really aggressively and full port them, I don't know that they're meant to be full ported, but I would consider that $200 day they call it a qualification for payout. That's like a consistency rule to me. So you can get into an XFA, but you can't just YOLO 5 of them 5 different ways and get lucky and take a payout. You will have to be able to put up $200 5 days in a row. I don't know if that's technically not a consistency rule, but that's what I was speaking about there. This is a profession. To me, being a trader has to be your obsession until you're profitable. Yeah, I'd agree, man. You're up against guys that are genuinely passionate about what they're doing. And I think like any profession, if you're not genuinely passionate about it, and it's a difficult profession to master, you're going to be beat by the guys that are going to put the time in because they're passionate about it. Even being really passionate about it and having drive and ambition, it's still really hard. So, if you're looking for a quick buck or a quick way to get rich, I would say move on and find something else. There's probably something else that's out there that's a whole lot better than trading for that. Another young guy. I'm 19 years old. To be honest, I'm tired to work outside, trying to learn and get the knowledge and earn money from the internet. I don't think trading's a good path, man. I hear a lot of guys get into trading because they do drop shipping and they're trying to find some kind of thing to make, internet money. I don't think trading falls into that category. I just don't. I think most of those things don't. And if you're approaching it that way, you're not going to find a lot of success, man. So I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but if you're interested in the financial markets, you're interested in, the psychology behind financial risk taking, and, yes, you can see the upside with trading providing, a lot of financial freedom and freedom from, working for anybody specifically, and you want to get into it for those reasons, then yeah, I think you stand a better chance than just, I'm trying to make money on the internet, and I tried doing an Amazon, drop shipping thing, and then I tried affiliate marketing and social media marketing, and now I'm going to come over to trading. I don't think so. I don't think that's a good path to take. That's what the prop firms want, to blow the XFA. But again, that's just my humble opinion, man. So I don't want to discourage you. Maybe someone else tells you something different. So, but we're going to have a conversation. We're watching the market. I don't see anything here, guys. I don't want to short here. We pulled all the way back up. This is not a just break and retest. Maybe I'm looking for the turn now of this move to capture a move to the downside. I see some resistance being met up here. I don't have a specific level that I'm trading off of. We held above session VWAP with multiple 5-minute bars. Now we're pulling back down. This is not super clear. So I'm going to hang out with you guys. I just want to acknowledge that while I'm yapping away, talking to you guys in the chat, I just don't see anything here. So I'm going to try to provide you some value by just talking to you, giving my opinion, my thoughts on whatever it is that we want to talk about today, trading wise. Yeah, that's what the prop firms want, to blow the XFA and buy another combine. Yeah, again, there's a spectrum to this. I think you see a lot of these guys that are putting up huge numbers in XFAs. What they're not showing you is what I'm talking about is some of them, because some of them do, the really aggressive way that they're trading these combines. They're, copy trading 5 at a clip and blowing them in a day or two on the way to passing 5 XFAs. And then they're trading XFAs really aggressively and blowing some of those on the way to running a lot of them up into profit. That can be profitable if you have a reason to do that, and you have some quantifiable evidence that you should be doing that, or you can be doing that, and you have the money to invest to do that. Again, I think once you get to the XFA stage, if you want to develop a relationship with a prop firm and move into a live account, they're not really to be YOLO'd and to just full port them and, shoot for the best. That's no way that you would handle a live account. And the goal maybe for you is to scale in these XFAs and get moved to a live account with TopStep and then be able to trade that and scale that up. Just YOLOing them is really not going to be the way. Easiest way, I think, to learn and have an easier learning curve is to find somebody you trust online and have them as your mentor. Most times you have to pay, but it's worth it when you start. Yeah. I'm just going to leave that as you said it, Don, and not mention that I have a coaching program. If you're 19 and just getting started in trading, I think you probably got a couple years before you want to come and talk to me. Maybe a year at very least. That's my thought. If the full port trade wins, it's very easy to get 5 $200 trading days. You can literally flip a coin because you have so much drawdown. Yeah, sure. I could see that. If that's the thought process and you have the money to invest in combines and XFAs to do that, yeah. There's a whole article out about or study I've seen guys talking about martingaling and not having to have a real consistent profitable approach to be able to turn a profit in a certain number of trades, especially if you're spreading that trading out across multiple accounts. So I think it's temporary though. I don't think you're really learning how to trade that way. I think trading a system and trading aggressively is much different than just YOLOing combines and XFAs. So we're talking about, I think, two different things here. I must say that being truly passionate and all in on trading, I thought I should trade all day, but eventually I learned that I'm very good at trading for the first 2 hours, and it's been hard to stop. Yeah. So again, there's a balance here, right? Just as there is with everything in life. being really passionate about trading and genuinely interested in, the markets and the challenge of trading, the psychology behind it, the risk management, all of it, the business behind it, is one thing. And I think it can be a driver for success. And I think to a degree it's somewhat necessary. Or at least be damn motivated by money and be really, really focused and willing to absolutely learn all of the nuances around trading for years. But again, what Juan is pointing out here, that can flip to a negative. It can quickly become your entire identity. It can become your whole life. And if you're not able to separate yourself from the green or red P&L each day, and it becomes your entire identity to be based on the results, that can be a dangerous road to go down. And you can be driven to stay at the charts all day and trade all day or study all day. And there's a clear point of diminishing returns for everybody. It's going to be different for everybody. So you, just like anything else, there's a healthy balance, right? Like if you're super passionate about the gym, you need rest. You need to recover. You can't be in the gym lifting weights all day, every day. You could take things to an extreme, even like endurance sports like I do. There's going to be an upper limit for everybody. And a lot of guys toe that line pretty well, but you run the risk of injury if you push too far because you're trying to push too fast, or you really love what you're doing and you're passionate about what you're doing. Same thing in trading. So I think it's important to have hobbies outside of trading, a life outside of trading, just like any other, profession or sport that you're going to pursue. Understand your limits, your points of diminishing returns, run right up against them. You have to put the hard work in. You're going to have to put a lot of time and effort into this stuff. But try to recognize where those are and back off when you start to hit that stuff. Sorry, just watching a little bit pop up on Bookmap above as I'm yapping with you guys. We got a little liquidity coming on the book above 90. Yeah, not above these highs, just kind of as we're coming up here. Nothing, guys. No trade right now. So we'll watch the market together. If something sets up, I'll let you know. Otherwise, we can have these good conversations. Oh, midnight. Yeah, prop firms are real, and real personal accounts are a whole different game, especially the ones who trail you. You are forced to full port to have an edge. Yeah, I'm talking more about TopStep, where we don't have an intraday trailing drawdown. The ones that are set up like Apex and some of those rules, yeah, it's you really got to work with their risk management, and it can encourage some interesting management, to say for lack of a better term. But yeah, real accounts, you need to be extremely skilled to make money long term. Yeah, again, when you get to an XFA, I don't think for most guys a sustainable approach is to YOLO the funded accounts into oblivion and to try to take withdrawals and then rinse and repeat. I think most companies will also ban you for doing that after a certain amount of time if they just note the extreme gambling tendency and that you're just gaming the system by pumping money in and YOLOing on news until you hit winners. I don't see many guys that do that sustainably. I've seen a lot of case studies done with Apex where guys do that. TopStep, I think, will cut you from doing that after a certain point. I think the upper limits of that would be trading a system very aggressively with the recognizing that you will not maintain these accounts based on the risk capital that you're allowed for a long period of time. But the goal is to start to run them up into profit, having some of that risk on the line to lose the account, and then to scale within reason, not just YOLOing it. But again, that's just my thoughts on that. For most guys, again, that's not what I encourage. That's not what you see me do with my XFAs. It's, I think, a great marketing tactic, right? Like if I got to hop on Twitter and Instagram and say, hey, look, guys, copy trading, 550K XFAs. I had, a $50,000 day. And what I don't, or maybe I even do explain it, but what I, behind the scenes is that, there's 100 blown combines and 20 blown XFAs on the way to that, and maybe it's still profitable. But is that the path? Maybe not. I think really aggressive in the combine is cool. Using them as tools, getting to the XFA, trading a little bit more conservatively in the XFA, treating it much more like a real account. Maybe not exactly like a real account where it's that much risk capital on the line. You know what your investment is, maybe a couple $100 if you failed a bunch of combines on the way to passing. And, you're comfortable because you can believe you're going to pull some money out maybe before you lose one, that type of a deal. So again, there's not a right or wrong way to do it. I think there's a balance that can make sense. It's personal, again, to your experience level and your financial situation. If you don't have money to risk like this and you do not have some experience in the market and some reason to believe that you can turn a profit in the first place, then doing any of this stuff is just a waste of money. Maybe you're building some experience, but trade one at a time, trade on demo until you have some experience that justifies you going and putting some money behind this stuff. And then even then, some guys are going to approach it much more conservatively. Some guys are going to approach it much more aggressively. I talk about what I do or what I've done so far because I've only been with TopStep this year. I'm a few months in. I'm only a few weeks into trading the 5 XFAs that I have. And my approach has been, first off, a lot of testing, what I would call testing in 50K combines, getting comfortable, using them as tools to really just limit downside risk without having a super... a lot of data to display that I should be trading them super aggressively in the first place. Once I get that out of the way, aggressive in the combines, very aggressive in the combines with the intent to not YOLO them, but to lose multiple trading at a much more aggressive risk per trade and personal daily loss limit than I would be able to sustain if I did not want to blow any of them. Get to the XFA, and so far it's been much more conservative. Not so conservative where I will never lose an XFA, but less aggressive than in a combine where I know I'm going to lose them pretty quickly on the way to passing multiple of them. I'm going to continue to adjust in XFAs. I've talked about some stuff where maybe I'd like to move into the 150K with the no daily loss limit. All of my XFAs have that daily loss limit. That's a limiting factor if you do want to stay in them and scale up for a long period of time. So maybe there'll be a point where I trade them really aggressively as I try to rotate them out for the 150Ks because you can only have 5 XFAs at a time. But I'll keep you guys updated on that. And again, that's just my way so far. Conservative in the XFA. As I get comfortable there, take a small payout. That's the goal. Work your way towards those payouts and then scale from there. Somebody else might say that's a stupid thing to do. That's a waste of time. Trade the hell out of those XFAs, copy trade. That's what you got there for in the first place. If you blow them, trade more combines. Somebody else might say, nope, trade one at a time, build a small buffer. You should be only risking $100 per trade. And it's up to the individual. It's up to the individual. I would say trying to game the system and YOLOing them, I don't think that's the right way to go at all. I would say that's a stupid thing to do. Trading them conservatively or aggressively based on your experience level and your investment, what you're willing to invest down in this prop firm route, from really aggressive to really conservative, that's up to you. If you want to stand a chance at getting moved to a live account to build a relationship with with whatever firm you're with, if that's the goal, you got to show them you can trade at a certain degree. So, for a long time, I defined my value as a human being based on my P&L. That sucks. I've been there, brother. It's very hard to get out of that because you only have trading as an occupation. Yeah, I totally feel that. And again, it's hard to, one of the hardest things in trading to shift your mindset on, because, and it's important to do because it's not helpful, is to define your success each day on P&L only. It's really not the right thing to do, and it doesn't make sense to do. Your job is to trade well. And over time, a large number of trades, yes, that P&L and that money being made consistently, that's the evidence of that. But on a day-to-day basis, on a trade-to-trade basis, if you believe there's a random distribution between wins and losses, the Mark Douglas quote that I love to repeat, and you truly believe you don't know what's going to happen next in the market, and you don't know if the next trade or 2 or 5 are going to be winners and losses, you shouldn't be defining your happiness and how you're doing as a trader by that P&L. You should be defining it as, did I do what I was supposed to today as a trader? Did I follow my guidelines, my rules? Did I structure my trades in the way that I was supposed to? Did I wait for my valid entries? Did I not trade when I was not supposed to trade? Those are the check boxes that you want to check off. That's your review that you should be running with yourself. And that's what, if you were sitting at a serious, trading firm, that's what they're going to ask you. It's not whether or not you won that next trade. You're not operating with a 100% win rate. That's not the goal here. It's, did you follow your approach, your strategy? Did you do what you were supposed to do? So it can be really hard to differentiate that. Really difficult. I like being on the charts. I like being on the charts most of the day. 90%. But 90% trade during the first 1 to 2 hours. Been trying to trade afternoons. Asian to add to my playbook. Yeah. I mean, I'll give you me for an example. Also, trading and learning about trading are going to be 2 different things. Back testing and actually trading are going to be 2 different things. But I'm really only trading 9:30 a.m. to about 11:30, 12. And then I come on here for a second session sometime in the middle of the day, power hour, whenever it is. After that, I'm not staring at the charts. I don't find it helpful. I don't find it creates a better edge. I don't find that I'm able to learn more that way. I will backtest outside of those times. I might, I'll listen to books. I'll run through trading books. I will review my trades with the chart. I will journal. I will do all of the stuff that goes into trading, the preparation and the review. But sitting on the charts all day trading is kind of like an athlete running a race day after day after day after day and never stopping. Like if you look at running, sport that I'm involved in, it's training if you're going to run a marathon for months. And the actual game day, which would be trading, is only one day. It's only that one day where you're actually running. And there's a lot of damage that gets done to your body. There's a lot of pressure that gets built up onto that. But it's all about the preparation. So if you try to bring some of that thought to trading, you shouldn't be trading all day, man. Trade the session where you have the most edge, where you are mentally prepared and ready to make those decisions, and then get your ass off the chart, relax, refresh, work on the other stuff that goes into it. The review, the preparation, studying, learning, the whole deal. So that's important to note. And I think a lot of guys mistake the time they spend on the charts just trading as all they're supposed to be doing, and it's not. There's a lot that can be that should and can happen before and after that's going to better prepare you to actually trade. Am I sponsored by TopStep? Am I sponsored by TopStep? No, or not yet. I signed up for their affiliate program. Here's the full disclosure. Signed up for their affiliate program back before I was on TopStep TV or did anything with them. I was a part of that. I had a link. I encouraged a bunch of guys to use the link. Didn't get any credit or payout from them or anything in that sense. I'm not, and then they ended that affiliate program. They said you're not an affiliate anymore. They ended all of their affiliate program. And after that, I was introduced by Austin Silver to get on TopStep TV, or at least make the connection for the opportunity to potentially get on TopStep TV. I got on for Power Players segment where they bring on guys that they feel are doing well and they want to talk to. And then I got invited back on for Power Hour a few times. So I've been on their show a handful of times. I use them myself, but I don't get accounts from them or, anything like that. So don't have a code or an affiliate link for TopStep. But I think that's important to note. I would say I'm biased because I'm on their show and I want to become an affiliate and I want to be on their show. I like being on their show. So, you can grain of salt me talking about TopStep myself. I will tell you the honest truth behind that is I think they're the best prop firm out there by a long shot. And this is coming from someone who has been burned by Forex prop firms an enormous amount of times. But I've looked at everything else out there in the future space. My humble, biased opinion is it's Top Step number one, and it's not even close. Don't see anybody else from a all-encompassing view as far as reliability, faces behind the name, longevity, the rules, the platform, the cost, all of it. Nobody even gets close to Top Step. Stuff changes every day, though, so you do your own research and you make that decision for yourself. But that's the answer to that. Yeah, guys, this is garbage. This is a whole bunch of garbage. No break and retest here. No break and retest here. This probably faked a couple people out. People are looking like they're shorting this. I wonder if this is... I'm going to reload this just to make sure. No, I knew this was off. If you don't reset your page for long enough, the tilt eventually gets jacked up. But guys are long on this, almost 50-50. I got nothing here. Nothing crazy popping out to me on Bookmap. So, yeah, we still got some more above here, and we got some more above the highs, but I'm not looking to get long or short on this. Right back down into the range. Consolidating back and forth. Downtrend structure overall with these lows getting put in. We're not back above this high. We are kind of testing what a trend line would be here for structure. Not clear indication for me. No clear direction. So, good conversation though. I like the trading questions. I like to have these, these talks with you guys. Get your opinion, your insight. Answer stuff that you might find helpful. I've made about $60K after expenses, literally full porting XFAs this year. Don't call it stupid, Zach. I have the receipts. I'm going to make you stand on business, my man. Hop in the free Discord and show me some of that. Show me some of those payouts. You can block your name out. But now that you put that out there, I would like to see the receipts. Just the way that you guys asked me to provide them, I asked anybody to stand on business that goes out and says things like this. I'm interested to hear about it, man. I genuinely am. Not because I'm questioning whether or not it's real, but I'd love to see how it was done. In my personal account, I just aim for 1 to 2% gain a month. It's different. That sounds awesome, man. Sure. If I do, will you let me mentor you? No. I'm not looking for a mentor, number one. But I would certainly be interested in you providing that information now that you went out and said that, and you said you have the receipts. I think it would be really cool to learn, and I think I would learn something new. If you hear me and the information that I put out, I have opinions about things, but I think for the most part, I'm fairly open-minded. So I would love to learn about it, and right now I will call it stupid. I don't think it's a good idea, and I don't see many people that show me what you're claiming right there to be true. But I'm not saying it's not possible at all. I would love to learn about it. So hop in the free Discord, and you can show me and the 1,200 members about it, how you are full porting XFAs, you've made $60K after expenses, and you have the receipts. That sounds awesome, man. Chop City right now. I hear that. How do you balance your technical analysis and fundamental analysis in your trading strategy? I don't really, because I hardly use any fundamental analysis. About as much as I do on the fundamental side is this. forexfactory.com, and I'll explain why. And again, different strokes for different folks. Maybe you use fundamental analysis. I go to forexfactory.com, and I make myself aware of the financial news events and data releases that are coming out. I pay attention to red folder news events. I pay attention especially. I try not to trade through those. I handle risk a certain way around all of these. We can make this a whole how Zach handles news talk if we want to. I am aware of things like FOMC members speaking, potential increases for volatility. I really am not trying to anticipate what's going to happen or create a story as to why something's happening. I pay attention to the chart. I pay attention to the tools that I use, some of the order flow stuff, and that's enough for me. When I backtest, I'm not backtesting whether or not somebody on CNBC said that the market's going to be bearish today. I'm just backtesting my strategy and approach based on technical analysis. So for the most part, I don't find fundamental analysis helpful to me. I see a lot of guys that do utilize fundamentals in their trading. They carry these biases. They're aware of all these different things going on, and they can make it work for them. I was never able to make that happen. I just found that it added more information that I wasn't able to utilize in a positive way, and it would create an unhealthy bias. Unhealthy meaning it would work sometimes, but not other times, and it just didn't provide any consistency for me. If anything, it was very freeing to just say, I don't care about all that stuff. It's going to be shown in price. It's going to be shown on the chart, and I'm going to pay attention to what's going on the chart, and that's it. Again, I make myself aware of things like, are we in an election year? Maybe there's potential for increase in volatility. Maybe there's news events coming up tomorrow and the next day. And I'm aware that sometimes the day before that, in anticipation, we can see some chop. We can see some low volume and consolidation. But that's kind of the simplistic level that I use fundamentals in my trading. I'm not anticipating the, rate cut to come, and there's this much of a chance, and that means that, the U.S. indices will be bearish, and, that type of a deal. If there's news about a war, I'm going to take into account that we're probably going to see some increase in volatility, maybe that this should affect the market this way, and I might be a little bit more risk averse and cautious when I approach the market. But that's kind of the level that I utilize that. Yeah, that's my deal. What advice? First off, I give no advice because none of this is financial advice, guys. I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is suggestion or recommendation to do anything. That's the God's honest truth. You should know that. I'm on here showing you what works for me, and this is for entertainment purposes only. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. Read the full disclaimer on my site, the description of this video. So no advice. But the question is, what advice would you give someone that has been trading for 5+ years, limited budget to buy evals, and currently struggling to make it and earn a steady income? 5+ years, man. You got some experience. So no advice. What I think I would have done differently in my journey if I was in the same place as you, and the main difference would be that you've got even more experience than me and are struggling to find some consistency and have a limited budget where, I was grateful enough to not have a limited budget. So you're going to come from an even tougher place than me. So when you make it, you could say, I did even better than Zach, which is the truth. So there's even more light at the end of that tunnel, Juan. What I would do differently, number one, is to trade on demo. I wouldn't have risk on in the market. I wouldn't be buying combines. I would trade on demo or in combines if I could, if I was okay buying those, knowing that I'm going to blow them because I don't have consistency yet, but I want to get, risk skin in the game to be able to, deal with the psychology behind financial risk management. And I would just focus on the process. And within all that, I would not have a time limit or an expectation as to when I'm going to have some consistency, when I'm going to be able to turn a reasonable income from it. I would just continue to work whatever job I was working and have, income from outside more consistent, reliable sources until I had a significant amount of data to display that I have a reason to start to invest money. I have a lot of data in trading on demo and in back testing and maybe in combines first to start to invest some real data. If you're struggling for that long, I don't think, and again, I'm generalizing, I don't think it's a technical analysis issue. I would say it's much more likely a psychology and discipline issue. And it's likely being amplified from your desire to make it happen and to be coming from a place with a very limited budget to do so. I would really encourage you to take a step back, trade on demo, not have any risk on in the market, make it just a learning experience and a hobby on the side. And I would dive deep. That's weird. We are investing reports of MNQ limit orders not executing. Please use market orders. Okay. If you guys are trading MNQ, that's interesting. I watched this pop right up here. That's what interrupted that thought. And I would read some psychology books. I would, if you haven't read all of them already, I would dive into all the stuff that's out there. Hop in the Discord. I'll make recommendations for you. That would be my thought process, brother. That would be my thought process. Just gonna see if anybody on my Discord is yapping about a problem. No, not yet. Coming up at 2 o'clock. Yeah, guys, a whole bunch of chop back and forth. So no trade. Was looking for a short as we came back down here. Absolutely no follow through to the downside. Drift all the way back up into the range. Feels like yesterday. Slow drifting movements. I'm going to go no trade 2 days in a row. That's where I'm at. Morning or afternoon sessions. Not common at all. Can't remember the last 2-day back-to-back period where I took absolutely zero trades. I took one combine trade yesterday, testing after I changed some settings here in TopstepX for $6.25. So that's the transparency there. But I can't remember a time when I had this many. Just a couple consecutive days. But I'm happy about it. Talked about improving your C game when I will take unnecessary losses when the market conditions are just not setting up. So, you know, that's going to be my day here. I don't see a nice setup at all. I would want more structure below this low, structure above this high. I don't see us getting that over the next couple hours. Maybe you have a trade from the middle of the range to the extremes, and that's going to play really nicely for you. What was last week's gain percent-wise? I don't know off the top of my head. Hop in the free Discord where I post all of my trading results, or at least XFA trading results, a bunch of charts, all that fun stuff. You can check that out for yourself, my brother. But other than that, midnight, you are going to stand on business and post a bunch of the receipts and explanation of how you YOLO'd XFAs to 60K after expenses. I'm excited to see that. Everybody else, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Read the disclaimer in the description of this video and on my site, Real Deal Futures. Hop in the free Discord if you're not already. I'll be here the rest of the week trading live on YouTube, hopefully getting some trades in. 8:30 a.m. Be cautious tomorrow. We got CPI red folder news. I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great afternoon. Thanks for being here.